You want free Discord Nitro? Or maybe some free Rust skins?
Well, today's sponsor can give you exactly that. Salad is an open source cryptocurrency miner made for gamers. It may sound like a gimmick, but it isn't. Salad takes out all the fuss of creating a secure wallet and which software you're going to trust to mine safely. With Salad, you download the program and it'll mine cryptocurrency when you're AFK. Simple as that. You will immediately see your earnings that you can spend on almost anything: Steam games, Discord Nitro, skins, or donate to charity during these hard times. As I've said before, Salad is safe, open source, and easy to use. You'll be set up in less than 5 minutes. Check out Salad in the description.
Haha, you really think you can win against a champ? Think again!
Welcome to my Weapons Guide series, Part 1. In this video, we'll be going over some basics, and we'll do an overview of early game firearms such as the Yoka, water pipe, double barrel, and since these guns are technically shotguns, we'll also go over the pump and SPAS 12. Here's what's on the menu for today's video. Check the video description for timestamps too. In the next videos, we'll be going over pistols, then SMGs, and lastly we'll cover rifles. The first things I'll go over is head versus body damage, what crouching does to weapon recoil, and then weapon statistics like accuracy, fire rate, range, aim cone, reload time, and more. Let's quickly go over crouching. Although you won't be crouching using any of the guns I'm showcasing in this video, it will however be quite beneficial to do so with most other guns. I'll be going more in depth about crouching in the next episodes. Now some stats may seem straightforward, but I'll go over a few so it's clear on what their purpose is. Recoil. Simply the amount of kick your gun will give when firing. The higher the number, the more your gun goes flying. Accuracy. You want your bullet to go where you're aiming at, right? So do I. Guns with lower accuracy may not fire exactly where you aim, even on your first bullet. The revolver is a good example. As you can see, when you're close, the low accuracy stat of the revolver isn't as apparent, but when you get farther away, the distinction is quite apparent. Aim cone. This isn't to be confused with accuracy, but can be felt in a similar manner. Aim cone will make your gun fire in any direction within the degree stated. If your gun has a 2-degree aim cone, it means that it may fire in any direction within that 2 degrees. Some guns have more aim cone, some have less. Endgame guns tend to have less. From personal tests, aim cone seems to have an effect only when firing fast or using full auto. It seems almost inexistent when tap firing at slower speeds. You may want to know what the difference is exactly between accuracy and aim cone. Just simply look at it this way. There is first shot accuracy, and then there's aim cone. So if you slowly tap fire, most of the time you're going to get first shot accuracy. Start rapidly firing, and this is where aim cone comes in. I obviously am not an aim god, so my horrible aim isn't exactly helpful in showing you the aim cone. but even someone with perfect aim would feel the effects of aimcone to a degree. As for shotguns, I'm not sure how aimcone translates, since buckshot already have spread and a lot of them are either 1 or 2 shot firearms. How aimcone translate into accuracy, that I have no idea, since some sources state that even the Yoka and water pipe do have aimcone. reload and draw times. The time it takes to draw and reload your weapon, calculated in seconds. Fire rate. This is calculated in RPM, which stands for rounds per minute. I haven't tested it, and I'm using Facepunch's numbers. Range. The distance your gun is best at doing damage. Once you get past this number, in terms of distance between yourself and your target, your damage will start dropping. As an example, it's safe to say that most shotguns, like the Yoka, right up to the SPAS 12, are most effective at 10 meters or less. And the stats shown on the Yoka, water pipe, and double barrel seem to reflect that, showing the number 10 on their range stat. But if you look at the pump and SPAS 12, their number increases. And I think we all agree that neither of these guns will kill anything at that distance. Not with handmade, buckshot, or incendiary that is. But the damage drop off for slugs is right around 40 meters, so maybe, just maybe, that's something to take note of. But then again, only Facepunch knows. I may dig more into this in the next episodes. Before we get into gun details, there's a few things that are important to know in Rust. The first thing you might not be aware of is how Rust calculates damage. The first factor is the gun you're using. That one's pretty obvious. Every gun has a base amount of damage that it can do, which you can see in the stats when inspecting it. The second is the ammo you're using along with your gun. There's plenty of different ammo. There's 4 different types for shotguns, 4 different types for rifles, and 3 for pistols, and I'll go over some of them a little later. We all know what damage is, but damage drop-off is the distance that it takes for a bullet and gun to start doing less damage, which is different for every gun and ammo type. Then there is speed, which is obviously the speed of the bullet, and bullet drop, which is when the bullet actually drops when losing speed. The third factor is which body part you're hitting. Some people still think that all body parts take different damage because the combat log differentiates body parts. That's false. The body of a player in Rust is separated in 3 different zones: the head, the upper body, and lower body. A player takes the same amount of damage whether he is hit in the hand and the chest. And same goes for the lower body. It doesn't matter if you hit him in the leg or his toes, same damage. And the fourth factor is distance. Like I mentioned before, the farther you are from the target, the less damage you're doing to that target. And that's pretty much it. Now, as you know in Rust, you start off with nothing but a rock. Getting a gun is the best way to start snowballing. The earliest form of a firearm you can get your hands on is the Yoka. It shoots 1 bullet and has to be reloaded. It is the only gun in the game that forces you to shoot from the hip. No iron sights. The Yoka can be absolutely devastating in melee range. It is possible to kill someone with metal armor with a single hit. It also does a very decent amount of damage to wood. It's possible to break wooden doors, walls, cupboards, and more using a Yoka pistol. At 75 wood and 35 metal frags, they are absolutely worth it. Next up on the list we have the water pipe. The water pipe is essentially a reliable Yoka, with a slightly higher crafting cost which also requires a workbench level 1 to craft. Just like the Yoka, it has good damage to wooden structures and is fatal at close range. Since it requires a workbench to craft, unlike the Yoka, you can't craft it while out and about. Now the big boy of primitive firearms, the double barrel shotgun. Firing 2 shots before having to reload, the DB can be an absolute playmaker, and is often the go-to for camping or running back to a fight after dying. It requires a tier 1 workbench to craft and is quite cheap to build at 150 metal fragments and a single metal pipe. The double barrel can also be bought from one of Outpost's vending machines for 250 scrap. The last craftable shotgun is the pump shotgun. It is the only one that has higher base damage, making it the best of its class according to the game. Even though the game says it has higher damage than all the other guns of its class, some testing has shown that it has very similar and oftentimes identical damage to its little brothers. It holds 6 rounds and has fractional reloading, meaning it will only reload the amount of bullets that you've used. It makes it a great choice to use with slugs. The downsides to the pump are that it can be hard to find and is on the more expensive side to craft at 15 high quality, 2 metal pipes, and 1 spring. The last shotgun on the list is the SPAS 12. This gun has a much higher fire rate than the pump shotgun, but it unfortunately comes at a price. The base damage of the SPAS 12 is significantly lower than any other shotguns. This makes it a great breacher with incendiary ammo when peeking around corners, but isn't great to use with slugs. The SPAS also benefits from fractional reloading. The SPAS 12 may not be craftable, but you can find it in various crates or simply buy it from the bandit camp for 250 scrap. Alright, we've gone over the shotguns. Some of you may say the Yoka is a handgun, but I decided to throw it in with shotguns since it uses that type of ammo. Talking about ammo, I'll glance over them real fast before closing up this episode. There are 4 types of shotgun ammo. The first is the handmade shell. Lower tiered shotguns come with these. Then there's buckshot, which does more damage but holds less pellets. After that, we have the amazing incendiary ammo. Essentially, it's a buckshot with fire, and it does a lot of damage. Lastly, there's the slug, a giant single bullet that does high amounts of damage. If you guys are interested in an ammo episode, let me know. The next video will be about handguns. See you there.